Have you ever noticed how some of the simplest things in the kitchen quietly disappear over the years while expensive products take their place? Most people spend hundreds of dollars searching for more energy, better digestion, steadier mornings, or clearer thinking, while overlooking one tiny spice that has been sitting in kitchens for generations. And here's the surprising part. When this one spice is combined with black coffee the right way, many people over 60 begin noticing subtle but meaningful changes in how they feel throughout the day. Not because it's a miracle, not because it replaces healthy habits, but because certain natural compounds work together in ways most people never think about. And chances are, if you drink coffee every morning, you've probably never tried it this way before. What's interesting is that this combination costs almost nothing. No complicated routine, no expensive supplement stack. Just one small adjustment to something millions of Americans already do every single morning. But before we talk about how to prepare it correctly, there's something important you need to understand first. Most people think coffee is only about caffeine. It's not. Properly brewed coffee contains naturally occurring plant compounds called polyphenols. One of the most studied is chlorogenic acid, which researchers have linked to antioxidant activity, metabolic support, and healthy inflammatory balance. Now let's talk about clove. Clove contains a natural compound called eugenol. In fact, clove is one of the richest natural sources of eugenol found in food. For centuries, cloves were used in traditional cultures not just for flavor, but because people noticed how calming and warming they felt after consuming them. Modern researchers became interested in cloves because of their antioxidant properties and their role in supporting the body's natural response to everyday inflammation and oxidative stress. Now here's where things become really interesting. Coffee and clove appear to complement each other extremely well. The compounds in coffee help stimulate alertness and mental energy. Clove adds a smoother, more balanced feeling that many people describe as calm clarity instead of nervous energy. And if you're over 60, this difference matters more than you think, because many adults eventually reach a point where coffee no longer feels clean and energizing. Instead, it can start feeling shaky, heavy, or uncomfortable. That tight chest feeling, the anxious buzz, the sudden crash later in the morning. Some people simply assume this is part of aging, but sometimes it's not the coffee itself. It's the way it's being consumed, especially once sugar-heavy creamers, flavored syrups, whipped toppings, and highly processed instant products enter the picture. At that point, many morning coffees stop functioning like coffee and start acting more like dessert, and the body notices. Now imagine starting your morning differently. A warm cup of coffee with a subtle clove infusion. No overloaded sweetness, no heavy cream, no syrup. Just a smoother, richer drink with a naturally deep aroma that feels comforting instead of overstimulating. Many people say the first thing they notice is not a sudden burst of energy. It's balance. Within the first 15 to 20 minutes, they describe feeling more awake without feeling tense, more focused without feeling jittery, and there may be a reason for that. Coffee naturally stimulates the nervous system. Clove, on the other hand, has traditionally been associated with a calming effect on the body. Together, the combination often feels gentler than regular coffee alone. But the effects people talk about most often are not actually about energy. They're about digestion. Within the first day or two, many people notice they feel lighter after meals, less bloated, less sluggish in the afternoon. This may be because coffee naturally stimulates digestive movement, while clove has long been used traditionally to support digestive comfort. And when digestion improves even slightly, everything else can begin to feel different too. Energy becomes steadier, mornings feel smoother, the body feels less heavy. Now, this is important. None of this should be seen as a cure or replacement for medical care. Everyone's body is different, but many people overlook how much daily habits affect how they feel over time, especially small habits repeated every morning for years. And before we continue, if you enjoy learning about simple habits that may support healthy aging naturally, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. We're building a community focused on practical, realistic wellness habits for adults over 50, and your support truly helps this channel grow. Now let's continue. After several days, some people begin noticing changes in appetite and cravings. Those sudden mid-morning crashes may feel less intense. The constant desire for something sweet may calm down slightly. One reason researchers are interested in coffee polyphenols is because they may help support healthy glucose metabolism. At the same time, compounds found in cloves are being studied for their role in supporting insulin sensitivity and oxidative balance. Again, this doesn't mean magic. It doesn't mean overnight transformation. But small improvements repeated daily can add up over time. And this is exactly what many healthy aging routines are built on, not extremes. Consistency. Within a week or two, another subtle shift may begin appearing. Morning stiffness may feel less noticeable. People often describe their hands feeling less tight in the morning, knees feeling more comfortable after getting out of bed, less heaviness when walking around the house early in the day. This doesn't happen because one spice suddenly changes everything. It may happen because the body is constantly responding to inflammation, stress, sleep quality, hydration, and nutrition all at once. And when several small supportive habits work together, the body sometimes responds surprisingly well. One thing many people don't realize is that chronic low-grade inflammation can quietly affect how you feel every day without obvious warning signs. Sometimes it shows up as fatigue, sometimes stiffness, sometimes brain fog, sometimes feeling older than you actually are. And supporting the body gently every morning may matter more than most people think. Now let's talk about what many people find most surprising after several weeks. The difference in mental clarity. Not intense stimulation, not the wired feeling that comes from too much caffeine. Instead, many people describe a calmer kind of focus. They feel more present during conversations, more motivated to start the day, less mentally sluggish in the morning. And this matters because many adults eventually assume that feeling foggy or drained every morning is simply part of getting older. But sometimes the body is simply overloaded. Poor sleep, heavy breakfasts, too much sugar, not enough hydration, too much processed food, stress building quietly for years. Small supportive routines cannot solve everything, but they may help the body function more smoothly over time. Now here's another important point. Preparation matters. Most people who try adding clove to coffee do it incorrectly and then wonder why they notice nothing. The easiest mistake is simply dropping a whole clove directly into hot coffee and drinking it immediately. That usually adds aroma, but not much else. Clove is a very dense spice. Its natural oils release best when prepared properly. A better method is simple. Take 2 or 3 whole cloves and place them into a small pot with about 1 cup of water. Bring the water to a light boil, then reduce the heat and allow it to simmer gently for around 5 minutes. Not longer. Too much heat for too long may reduce the quality of some of the natural compounds. After simmering, strain the water and use that warm clove-infused water to brew your coffee. That's it. No expensive machine, no complicated recipe, no supplements, just a slightly different morning routine. And if mornings are busy, there's also a faster version. You can lightly crush 1 whole clove using the flat side of a knife, place it into black coffee, let it sit for several minutes, and then drink slowly. It may not be quite as strong as the simmered version, but many people still enjoy the flavor and gentle warmth it adds. Now let's talk about what often ruins the experience. The first issue is sugar. Large amounts of sugar first thing in the morning can create rapid spikes and crashes in energy that leave people feeling exhausted only hours later. The second issue is heavily processed creamers and syrups. Many contain long ingredient lists, artificial flavors, and oils that turn coffee into something the body handles very differently. And the third issue is drinking coffee too quickly. Many adults treat coffee like fuel instead of a morning ritual, but slowing down matters. Drinking slowly allows the body and nervous system to respond differently compared to rapidly consuming large amounts of caffeine all at once. Now, there's also an important safety note. People who are sensitive to caffeine, have stomach irritation, reflux issues, or specific medical conditions should always listen to their healthcare professional and pay attention to how their own body responds. And if you take medications that affect blood clotting, it's always wise to ask a healthcare professional before making major dietary changes involving cloves regularly. Because even natural ingredients deserve respect. But for many people, this simple morning habit becomes something surprisingly enjoyable, not because it promises impossible results, but because it encourages a calmer, more intentional start to the day. And sometimes that alone changes more than people expect. Think about how many mornings begin with stress, noise, rushing, and exhaustion. Now imagine replacing that with 5 quiet minutes in the kitchen, the smell of coffee, warm spices, a slower start, a calmer mind. That changes the tone of the entire morning, and over time, healthy mornings often create healthier days. The truth is, most people spend years searching for complicated solutions, while ignoring simple daily habits that may actually support the body consistently. Not perfectly, consistently. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Healthy aging is rarely about one giant breakthrough. It's usually about small choices repeated often enough to matter. A little more movement, a little less sugar, better sleep, more hydration, calmer mornings, smarter routines, and perhaps one simple clove in your coffee. So tomorrow morning, before reaching for expensive powders, complicated supplements, or another sugary coffee drink, try something simpler. Take a breath. Slow down. Prepare your coffee differently. Your body notices more than you think. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone in your life who drinks coffee every morning. Sometimes the smallest tips are the ones people remember the longest.